Won't he do it? Yes, he will. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is Wednesday, February the 16th, 2022. And the time is 1:15. Central Time, as always, brothers and sisters. Got a powerful message. I want to jump right in today. I want to talk about your reality is based upon your mentality. In fact, all versions of the frequencies that you see must match what you be. All versions, think about this for a moment. All versions of the frequencies, everything is a frequency. That means everything. So all versions of the frequencies that you as an individual see must, by universal spiritual law, match. They must agree. They must contract. They must be allowed. They must connect. All versions of the frequencies that you see must match, agree, contract, allow, and connect with the mentality that you be. Now, that has to, man, this is a deep topic. All these topics are deep. All versions of the frequencies that you see must match the mentality that you be. And that's universal spiritual law. You can't see what you can't be. So, if you meet someone that is, not a match. They are a match. They're just reflecting your match. So once you understand what we're talking about today, and what we're about at the end of today's show, we'll be able to, break it down so that we're all on the same frequency wave of our vibration. Because as I go through life every day, remember, all I do is I ask the universe questions, and then the universe gives me answers. So you see what you wish to see, or you see what you need to see. I was thinking about this because, I remember my mom died, and I wanted to see. Then it was Shamora, my dad, different family members, depending on where you are at mentally. That underlying desire will manifest something for you to see. Because by universal law, all versions of your reality must match the versions of your mentality. Universal spiritual law. All versions of your reality are being distorted to fit your mentality. As we talked about yesterday, we look at the 9 ether mind, and we talked about, one of the 5 ways by which a mind virus or a mind program works is distortion. And so today when we talk about these, 5 mind viruses, the biggest one is not deletion. The biggest mind virus is distortion. So we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. In fact, that is the only way, because like cats, they perceive certain wavelengths. Dogs perceive certain wavelengths. Well, each individual perceives certain wavelengths. So the wavelengths that I perceive are different. That's why you can talk to somebody tell you blue in the face. They will not understand nothing that you have said. Excuse me. So you can talk and talk and talk and talk. Jesus will come back and leave again and come back and leave again, and you still talking. And nobody's changing. And your version of your reality is based upon your mentality. When you change your mentality, you change your version of your reality. Now, if you could wrap your brain around that, and I know you can because you're a high vibrational activity on, or there's no way on God's green galaxies that you would be on today's call because you'll be watching Love and Hip Hop right now. You'll be at Popeyes getting your chicken sandwich right now. You would be doing something else. If you tuned into this call today, that's because you understand that there's a better, a higher way to play. This is a game, brothers and sisters. So now there are serious consequences to the game. Serious. There are serious consequences for not manifesting. Serious. If you refuse to manifest, if you refuse to get you some act right, if you refuse to understand the law of balance, if you refuse to oscillate and vibrate according to the path of fulfillment, if you refuse to acknowledge that you are a vibrational, or that your reality is the vibrational equivalent of your mentality, if you refuse, you must DYE and come back again and try the shit all over again. So it behooves me and you that we manifest. This is a school of duality to learn how to control your mentality so that way you can establish singularity. That's why you're here. That's it. The only reason you're here to learn. That's it. That's it. You're not here to earn. You're here to learn. Now, earning is a byproduct of learning. It's just like getting a piece of cake. The icing is on the cake. The icing is not the cake. If you go get some cake, you get some icing on it. You didn't get the cake for the icing, at least most of us. Most of us get the cake because we want the cake. Sure, slap some icing on that, homeboy, but I'm here for the cake. So you will stay in this reality until you understand the intensity of the amplification of your mentality. So what I'm saying today, brothers and sisters, is that, and this is because when you think like nobody, so what are you saying? Like you're saying that I have the mentality of a blank. It's really interesting because it's like, man, we think, but we never think about how we think. We just think. And sometimes, when you're depressed or angry or you got some time or you are reflecting, you made a bad choice or a bad decision based upon your definition. Excuse me, you look at your friends and you say, damn, I wish I had some better friends. No, you don't. You just wish you had better thoughts. Do you know that your friends are the vibrational equivalent of you at that very moment? And every time you change your thoughts, you change your vibration, you change your direction. That's why people can't manifest. Because think about how many thoughts you have in a day that are not exactly the same. So right now I have a thought that says, oh man, like if I want to drop 80 pounds in 30 days, right? The verbiage of the difference between me making $100,000 in one day and making $10 is my incantation. So if you post something on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, people see it. And if you can verbalize it, for example, let's take the goddess of the West. So if I am the goddess of the West, if I'm Sister Cheryl West, right, and Sister Cheryl has her book out, Mentalness. If let's say Dr. Span has her book, Sweat. And then she has another book, her husband, Dr. Jerome, has a book. And, let's see, who else? Sister Addie has a book. Dr. Martinet, I know, working on a book. So if everybody is working on a book and everybody has a book, right? We all have different books. We all, that's what we are. We are a book. And then when we put that book on a paper, it's still us. So I have all my 300 books. They all come from my book. I am the book of life. It's your DNA is the book of life. So my DNA has a signature. This is my aura, my frequency, my wave of my vibration, and that is my aura. That's the version of the self. So all versions of the frequencies that you see must match the frequency that you be. You cannot, remember, higher level, on the lower level, opposites attract. On a higher level, the like attracts like. So you can't see nothing that you don't be, that you don't already possess. So if you are in a bad relationship, you're in a bad relationship with yourself. If you're in a good relationship, you're in a good relationship with yourself. You are the everything in your life is the vibration equivalent of your life at that second. It could change with a thought. So if I'm sitting there, I have a thought that says, man, you know what, I don't, and then you do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you catch yourself right before you get ready to damn yourself and condemn yourself, and you say, you know what, I'm not going to speak death. I feel wealthy, healthy, wise. Every organ in my body functions according to its purpose. My pH balance, my electricity, my blood sugar, heart rate, everything is functioning at optimal levels, at its optimal best. You declare and you decree. So what you're doing is now you are changing your frequency. And then if you can, this is the trick, as Sister Cheryl West talks about inside of her book, mental maintenance. That's the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail. So Sister Cheryl West has the Holy Grail. So Sister Cheryl West should make and can make $100,000 today. How can Sister Cheryl West make $100,000 today? Well, Sister Cheryl can say, I am $100,000 richer today. Sister Cheryl West can say, I am assisting 100 people today with establishing mental maintenance. And in exchange for me assisting 100 people, I am going to receive $100,000 in currency. She can break it down to, let's say $1,000 per person, or whatever the math is. And when Sister Cheryl of the West orders that, bam, she matches the frequency immediately of that. Immediately. So when she says that, now she has to maintain that. And if she maintains that frequency by universal spiritual law, this is not up for debate. You can't see vibrationally what you are not maintaining mentally. So the problem is we have a mind virus. That gets into Sister Addie's book. So Sister Addie has a book entitled The Quiet Storm. How to peacefully silence, control, limit, manage the raging thoughts that's, again, inside of the unconscious brain. And so once you understand that each individual on this call, you are a vibrational match because of these 5 frequencies, waves of vibrations that we are discussing today, meaning that you are matching, you are agreeing, you have signed a contract, you are allowing, and you are connecting vibrationally. That just simply means that everything that you are experiencing is your own frequency. So what does that mean? That means every time you meet somebody, you meet yourself. You're meeting your energetic self, but they're just in another dirt suit. So everything in Earth, everything on the planet is energy. And energy, 1, matching. Energy, 2, agreements. Energy, 3, contracts. Energy, 4, allowing. Energy, 5, connecting. If you do those things, you are experiencing. So in order for me to experience, so if Sister Cheryl West, going back to the example, if Sister Cheryl West wants to experience $100,000 today, Sister Cheryl West now has to be able to understand that all versions of her reality are based upon the distorting, because out of the 5 mind viruses that we talked about on yesterday, the most important of the mind virus is not the deletion, it is the distortion. So we can distort, aka change, aka manipulate our reality with our mentality. But most people who want to manipulate reality, change reality, they don't start with mentality. That's where they start. You piss somebody off, I want to put my hands on you, bruh. I'm not going to put my mind on you. So we don't start with the mind. We start in physicality, not in spirituality. So in order for me to change, now the word distorted, again, has usually a negative connotation because it actually does mean twisted. It means deformed. It means, again, to misrepresent something. It means to actually misrepresent facts or reality falsely. So the dark side of mind hacking, mind mapping, is what is called distortion. Now, if we want to look at the positive side of mind hacking and mind mapping, is what the Bible says, be ye transformed. How? By the renewing of the mind. So instead of distorting the mind, we want to renew. We want to engage in the process of renewing. Now, the word renew means to begin or to take up again. It means to have an acquaintance again. It means to have a conversation again. It means to resume. It means to restore. It means to, what's the word that we're doing for Module 3? Today is, we wrap it up with day 21. What are we talking about? Whatever you control, you replenish. Bam! So the word replenish. So we want to restore and replenish. So whatever I control, connect, I restore and replenish. So going back to Sister Cheryl West, Sister Cheryl West has to restore. She has to replenish. She has to resume. She has to take up again the same conversation, which is what? In exchange, I'm going to assist 100 people. I'm going to assist 200 people, 300 people. I'm going to assist. Sister Cheryl West can get this one person to give her $100,000. She can get 2 people to give her $500,000. You know, she can get 4 people to give her $25,000 each. And she can divide however she chooses to generate the $100,000. But she has to be the vibrational equivalent of $100,000. Oh, snap. So that means Sister Cheryl West has to feel like she already has $100,000. Oh. So now we're talking about the smoking gun. What is a smoking gun? We don't feel like we are or that we can reel. And if we do feel like we can reel, what happens? We get challenged because we are in time. So we don't really understand, like I talked about on Valentine's Day. My goal was to generate $100,000 on Valentine's Day. And because Valentine for us is a specific time and space, so the universe doesn't operate in time and space. The universe operates in eternity. Remember, time flies, doesn't exist when you're having fun, when you're functioning unconditionally in the now, F-U-N. So Sister Cheryl West, Sister Annie, everybody on the call, you got to function. You got to have fun. So I'm having fun. I'm functioning unconditionally now. In other words, there's no condition. There's no condition to me staying here now. So I'm not thinking about the past or the future. I'm thinking about now. So right now, what is my vibration? Whatever my vibration is right now, bam, all of that's going to manifest in my reality. All I got to do is maintain my vibration. So just look at your friends, your car, your house. That's the result of your vibration. So all versions of people that you see in your life, all versions of the people. Think about the people in your life right now. Think about your husband or your wife. Think about your children. All versions. Do you know that people, they change to fit? Or let me rephrase that. Do you know that you change people to fit your mentality? You don't see me the way I see me. So do you know how many versions of me there are? So how many people, how many clients do I have? Do you know that each one of you guys see me differently? So do you know that Reverend Cheryl sees me different from Sister Cheryl? Do you know that? Do you know that Dr. Arlene Spann sees me different from Dr. Martinet? Now, I see myself totally different from the way Sister Carolina sees me. So if I ask Sister Carolina to write down 10 attributes and characteristics that the way that she sees me. So Sister Carolina could say, you know what, hey, Dr. Woodman, you know what, no, he's knowledgeable. You know what, he's compassionate. You know, or she could say, you know, maybe the way I think Sister Carolina sees me is different from the way she sees me. Maybe Sister Carolina could say, well, you know, I like Brother Will, but you know what? He's an asshole. You know what? He's this, he's that. I mean, Sister Carolina, you know, I'm just playing, but I'm just saying. So I don't know. I think that Sister Carolina sees me in a, you know, benevolent manner, but I don't know. I could have said something during the show that I don't even know. I'm not even aware of, and now Sister Carolina could have a certain. Because remember I said, you guys, some people don't like it when I say boo-boo. Some people don't like it when I, you know, say things negatively about, you know, when I say Christian or Cretan. So, you know, you say things and what happens? People see you differently. So let me make sure you understand that everything that you are experiencing is just your own energy given back to you. Because you distort me to fit your mentality. And I distort you to fit my mentality. So the way that I see Brother David Andrews is different from the way that his colleagues see Brother David Andrews. I guarantee you, I don't see Brother David Andrews the way he sees himself. I guarantee you, I don't see, if I was to describe Dr. Jerome Spann, and then if his wife described her husband, I guarantee you, they are not the same. So how come I don't see Dr. Jerome Spann the way that Dr. Arlene Spann sees him? So if I describe, you know, Sister Cheryl West, and if I describe Reverend Cheryl, I guarantee you, I will describe Reverend Cheryl totally different from the way Sister Cheryl West would describe Reverend Cheryl. Why? So I see my vision, my image of Reverend Cheryl, my vibe, it's different. Oh, thanks, Sister Carolina. Sister Carolina said, she said, Doc, you are an angel. Oh, thank you, Sister Carolina. Appreciate you. So what am I saying? Well, this is rough. Wow. So you distort. I was walking today. Today's Jania's birthday. Even though she's not on Facebook, because you know, kids does like Facebook. And I said, Jania, why are you not on Facebook? You know, Jania's my bonus daughter, and I said, Jania, how are you not on Facebook? She turned 17 today, and she said, Facebook is for old people. I said, oh snap. They all on TikTok and you know other stuff. So I was gonna say you guys could you know tell her happy birthday, but she wouldn't see it. So I'll just tell her happy birthday for you guys. But today's her birthday. But it's very interesting because the young people see the world different. So she's getting her hair done. So I said, Janai, why you? And I said, why are you getting a wig? And you know that most of the things that she getting her eyelashes, she getting fake eyelashes, she getting all diddied up for, took her out to breakfast this morning. Then we're going to have a birthday party, but it's during the week. So we're going to move the birthday party back to the weekend. And so I asked her, Janaya, why do you wear a wig? Why you get eyelashes? Because you get our eyelashes done. It takes 3 hours. She's right now getting out. I said, why do you do that? So I don't perceive, I like women that are natural. I don't like makeup and fake hair. Because it's like, so to me that distorts, that dumbs down a woman's natural beauty. But obviously, somebody likes it because all women do it, especially black women. It's very rare. It's like, again, seeing an albino tiger in the wild to see a black woman with all natural hair. Y'all know any? It's very rare. But why, though? Well, that's my interpretation. Obviously, like I was talking to my, her interpretation of reality is different. So let me make sure you understand. All versions of the frequency that you see must match the mentality that you be. Damn. So, like we said yesterday, your brain is so powerful that your brain is going to take money, and your brain thinks you don't like money, and so the brain is going to distort money and say, well, Doc, shit, money ain't everything, my brother. Money is of the devil. Money doesn't make you happy. These are words I've heard people tell me. Say money is another thing. Now, I don't know what world people live in when they say that. And then I love when rich people who have money say that. So I would ask anybody because there's somebody on this call probably believe that. So I would like for you to take all your money. First of all, email me so I can give you my account information, or just cash at me all of your money. I would like for you to take a vow of poverty. Since money, you don't believe money can make you happy. You don't believe now. Hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, we all know I ain't talking about paper. I'm talking about that when I get the paper that you're going to send me because you don't like your money, I'm going to go and I'm going to take that paper because that is a medium of exchange. And I'm going to pay off debt. I'm going to invest in my business. I'm going to do, I'm going to expand certain things. So money is the medium of exchange that allows us to exist in this dimension. So when you say you don't like money, you saying you don't like existing. So that's an underlying vibration. So that a lot of people say that, and I've heard a lot of my friends, because they don't really understand. Because a lot of people say that they've never really been where I've been. See, I've been I've been on the dark side, brothers and sisters. I've been without money, and now I got money. I clearly understand that there's a huge difference in the way people treat you and the way you treat and see yourself. Do you know that people who don't have money are depressed? You know what it's like to be homeless in Dallas, Texas? Anybody been to Dallas? Anybody especially been to Carrollton, like where McKinney, Flower Mound, where my kids live at? When I go to Dallas, I got a $100,000 Corvette. Now, right next to Frisco, that's where the Cowboys is at. You know what kind of cars do I see when I'm driving through Dallas? They make my car look like a Ford. The point that I'm making, brothers and sisters, is what you perceive is perceiving you. In fact, what you perceive matches you. What you perceive agrees with you. What you perceive is the contract that you made to perceive. What you perceive, you allow. Because you're not against it, so you allow it. You allow it to live, to exist, to manifest in your life. What you perceive, you are a vibrational connection with. Otherwise, you can't perceive it. It's like I was walking out of the I was walking there, and I saw it was like only $3 or $4 on. It was just some dollar bills folded up on the ground, and we noticed it. And there was an older couple standing right next to it. There was the people that was following us. It was right next to their car, and they were getting into their vehicle. So I thought they was going to bend down and pick up the money. They did not. They did not perceive it. They didn't see it. They got into their vehicle. I bent down and picked up the money. I said, is this yours? And the guy I don't know, they might ask the couple that was standing right next to him, is this your money? No, it is not. So I just put it in I just gave it to Janai and said, hey, happy birthday. Add that to your birthday money. So how come I was able to perceive it? Well, I got a wealth mentality. I perceive money. I like money. Me and money, we cool. I got money, ain't got no problem with me. I ain't got no problem with money. I've cleared up all of my underlying, unconscious, negative habit patterns that said people who got money are bad people. And I used to say this too. Like, I'm really both. All black people say, you know, man, yeah, the rich white people, man, yeah, they're ruthless, man. Those rich. That's what I used to think the same thing. Everybody that had money was a cutthroat, lying, stealing, conniving. They wasn't regular people. And then I met, and all of the rich white people I met, these people was like better than all the Christians I knew in church. All of them. And I told you guys the first two, Mitch and Sandy, that had that pearl white, convertible Bentley that I was riding around. They would pick me up, and I just ride me around, take me out to dinner. I was this little black man from Texas. And they would ride around showing me $1 million out in La Jolla, California, looking at $1 million homes. That was way back in the freaking 80s. And I talk about all the rich white people that were my gurus inside of my book, The Ultimate Secret to Being Rich, because again, I was married into that culture, and it's really living up in Santa Fe. There's money up in Santa Fe. Y'all ever been to Santa Fe? Shit, you should go. It's crazy. A lot of stars got houses that they stay in once a week. So what am I saying? I'm saying I had to change my vibration. Now let me make sure you understand, because this is. Oh, man, this is tough. So I grew up in the hood. I call it the hood, right? Now, I can go to Chicago, and it makes what I grew up like. I'm sure I can go to Bronx, New York. I'm sure I can go to, Newark, New Jersey. I'm sure that there's other hoods that are hooder, if that's a word, than where I grew up at. But it was hood for me. So where I grew up, I saw no $100,000 cars. Where I grew up, I guarantee you, if I took a picture and showed you the house where I grew up as a kid, unfortunately, it was torn down, obviously. Well, the house where my dad died in, I could take a picture of it and show it to you. You guys would be like, damn. And that was actually one of the better houses. So if I could ride around Richmond, now Richmond is building up. There's some parts kind of like in Fulshire. It's called Pecan Valley in Richmond. There's a neighborhood that's like high end. But when I grew up, that shit wasn't there. What's the point, Doc? What's the point? The point is that's how my mentality was established, because that was part of the environment that I grew up in. I had to change that by exposing myself to higher frequencies, so that way I could now I am a vibrational. Here's the 5 vibrations. Number 1. I am a vibrational match. So I need to teach you real quickly how to be a vibrational match for what you want. Number 2, I'm in vibrational agreement. I'm gonna teach you real quick how to establish a vibrational agreement. Number 3, I have a vibrational contract with wealth. Number 4, I'm vibrationally allowing wealth to come into my life. Come on, wealth, health, wisdom, y'all are welcome. Great relationships, come on in. I have no resistance. I'm putting up no fight. Conscious, subconscious, or unconsciously. Because every day when a thought comes up that says, well, you know what, if you get a lot of money, like that song Puff Daddy and them came out, more money, more problems. Give me more problems. I'm good with it. I'm okay. Well, if you like, and it's crazy because it's like, and I think it was Sister Addie. Somebody said that, and I actually have to check myself so I can stop dumbing down myself. And I think it was Sister Addie who posted. So you guys know, especially for people that are members, when you guys post stuff, thank you, because sometimes I need checking too. I know a lot of you guys, may not call me or text me, but you guys bless me and uplift me and encourage me every day. But David Andrews does it all the time. He will post. I don't have the opportunity to go out to, and I think Brother David's in Florida, if I remember correctly, right, Brother David? And so those scenic pictures, sunsets, Brother George, especially when he was in Bend, Oregon, he would post up that those images. I mean, one time Sister Cheryl West not Sister Cheryl, Reverend Cheryl was out in the woods. So, I mean, Sister Ellen posts pictures sometimes of her shop. That's my dream, is to open up a physical location and not only have my books, but also have health products that I'll either partner with Sister Ellen or find out, where I want to carry whole, organic, 1,000% all natural, vitamin A, D, all the stuff that we talk about, especially the stuff that we're going to be talking about when we get into the reverse aging class. What am I saying? I'm saying that helps me elevate myself. So that is what I call, I'm allowing you guys to speak into my life. Because you guys allow me to speak into your life. It's a two-way street. I think, in fact, I probably learned more. I've learned more from Sister Carolina than Sister Carolina has learned from me. It's an energy exchange, because we are a vibrational match, vibrational agreement, vibrational contract, and we allow, Sister Addie allows for me to speak into her life, and I welcome Sister Addie's input into my life, which brings me to number 5. That is me and Sister Addie have a vibrational connection. Me and Dr. Span have a vibrational connection. Me and Dr. Jerome have a vibrational connection. Me and Dr. Martinet have a vibrational connection. So all of the vibrations of the people that I see and that are in my life, their vibration is distorted by me. So the way that I see Sister Addie is not really Sister Addie. I have to change so I can encompass more of the true essence and nature of Sister Addie. Because right now, I am distorting her aura so that way it fits into the box that I like. That's not fun. So fun is when I stop trying to change Sister Cheryl West and I accept Sister Cheryl West unconditionally now. Because then that creates an environment of unconditional love so everybody can elevate, which is the whole point of the group. And so when we do meet in person, there'll be no ego, there'll be no arguing, there'll be no fussing, there'll be no fighting, there'll be no bickering, there'll be none of this freaking middle school shit that people do. It'll just be total unconditional receiving and giving, because we'll all check our egos at the door, because we're here to establish the frequency of heaven inside of each one of our dirt suit that we call Earth. That is the hive or the highest mind. So everybody on the call, number one, you match, or everybody that you see, you either dumb them down or you amp them up to match your vibration. That's good and that's bad. The good thing is, what if somebody, like, you see somebody at, say, a higher vibration than you in certain areas, and then you see some people as a lower vibration. We all do. We all judge people. So, for example, if I see somebody who is, like, let's say, in better physical shape than me, I see that person as somebody that has a higher vibration in that area. I know that, for example, Dr. Jerome Span. So when Dr. Jerome Span came to visit me here in San Antonio, my wife's car just crazy. The exact same day that they just happened to be in town. I've told you guys the story many times. Her car broke down because we took it somewhere to get it repaired, and they was going to charge us something like $1,700 for something that, for a $40 part that Dr. Span put on in about 5 minutes. So that saved us like $1,700. So I see Dr. Jerome Span as a higher vibration than me in the area of auto mechanics. Is that a true assessment? Damn straight. Because I was going to pay somebody $1,700 to do something that, he did for free and told me what part to buy that cost like $40. So I'm not a vibrational match. But because that's his purpose, that's his destiny, that's one of his skills, one of his talents, one of his attributes, one of his characteristics. We was talking to Brother David Andrews, and Brother David's gonna kind of help me to organize the People Development Center, because Brother David does that professionally at corporate America, high end, and when it comes to structuring how and packaging and delivering and improving, because I have to improve. Like some of the calls, the call audio is terrible, but I am using Free Conference Call USA. It don't cost me a dime. So what I'm going to complain about something that I'm getting for free? Well, maybe it's time. I'm making money. There's nothing wrong with elevating changing the platform that I'm using to deliver the content, especially the pay-per-view content, because you guys are paying. Ain't gonna really do you no good if you can't understand, because the audio quality is poor. So what does that mean? Well, that just simply means that Brother David Andrew, when it comes to that area, has experience that gives him a vibration. So I can match his vibration by learning. So I could talk to Dr. Jerome Spann. I can learn something about cars. Now I can become a vibrational match with Dr. Jerome Spann. Could you imagine when we all get together, the People Development Center, and Sister Ellen is there, and Sister Ellen comes in and she starts talking about, Sister Ellen, how long have you had Ellen's pantry? I feel like he told me. Anyway, I know Sister Ellen has not only a physical label, but I don't know if you guys have seen it. Sister Ellen's newsletter that she sends out that has all a list of her products and services. Everybody should be on Sister Ellen's mailing list. And Sister Ellen's, I've never been to, one of my goals is to actually go physically to her location. But I told my daughter that's the layout that I want to establish my vitamins, minerals, my herbs, and then have my books in there. Sister Ellen, what's that word, Sister Ellen, that they use? It's not, I think it's feng shui. In other words, the energy flows very succinctly through when you walk into it. Just for me, visually, it's visually appealing. So Sister Ellen just texted, she said 31 years. Damn. So Sister Ellen been doing, and she's had her shop, and it is successful, and she's been doing it for 31 years. We all could. So Sister Ellen, I need you to get your speech together, because when we do have the meeting, this is what the round table is about. Sister Carolina and her daughter built a building from the ground up. She sent me the pictures and stuff. First, it was just dirt out there. Next thing you know, a month later, there's a whole building. Just 2 women did it. How? Sister Carolina should be talking to other people and explaining that. Dr. Martinet has vegan chitlins. For country folks who are used to eating certain soul food stuff, that, the old slave diet, Dr. Martinet is turning things that we can't eat into things that we can eat that's beneficial by adding in seasoning to certain vegetables to give us, sure, it's not that old stuff that's going to give you diabetes and high blood pressure, but you can still get the feeling that you're eating soul food or southern cooking. So that's something, so what am I saying? I can match Dr. Martinet's vibration by learning from her. But I have to do these 5 things. So number 1, matching means my life changed when I went to California. But the reason, and I went 3 times to hang out with millionaires that looked like me. Now, even though that did not work out from the perspective of, and thankfully it did not, because I was willing to do something that I learned from Sister Addie that I should not do. What was I willing to do? Pretty much, I was going to dumb myself down to fit in their box. So why would I do that? Because I did not have, at least at that time, I did not have the match, the agreement, the contract, the allowing, and the connection of the energy that says, The same thing that they doing in California with their business, you can do with the Life Management Center, Master Teacher 33 Incorporated, which is what I'm doing now. But I got that from Sister Addie by something that she posted on Facebook. So even though she didn't talk to me directly, her energy was talking to me. Because my spirit needed to hear, you ain't got to, sell your birthright for a bowl of soup. You ain't got to take the easy way out. And everybody on this call has posted something that I matched with. So vibrational matching is simply meaning that you see something that you may not be doing, and you like, it inspires and then it gives you enthusiasm and say, you know what, I'm going to step up. And maybe I can, I want to match that vibration. And you see somebody exercising, they're doing good and all this stuff, you like, you know what, sure, I can exercise and do good too. It's not competing. It's comprehending. It's appreciating. It's completing. So I'm not trying to compete with Dr. Jerome's fan. I ain't trying to start no mobile compassion care clinic. That's the name of his book, by the way, Compassionate Car Care. I ain't trying to write no book on compassionate car care. Why? I'm a talker. I'm a 336. But what I can do is I can establish an agreement. Now, an agreement says this, and this is really important because what I see, especially inside of, spiritual circles, there's this underlining, and I got to watch myself too. Because I say things that come across like, especially like I'll say things that come across as negative, like Wim Hof breathing technique. And I'll say, oh, you don't need no Wim Hof breathing technique, and you don't need no sun gazing, and you don't need no yoga, you don't need no Tai, you don't need this, you don't need that. What I should be saying is, you don't have to have a vibrational agreement with that particular vibration because that's somebody's purpose. God designed Wim Hof to do that. So he didn't design. Now, that I could match, agree, make a contract, allow that spirit to come into me, transfer in the spirit, make a contract, because that's what we're talking about, because contracts brings about, again, what I call a contradiction, which brings about control. So that means I can establish 1, full disclosure, 2, meeting of the minds or frequency, 3, that brings about a contract or consent. So if I do full disclosure, so I can get with Dr. Jerome. Dr. Jerome's fan can give me full disclosure by saying, hey, young buck, sit down right here. Let me show you how to change the spark plugs. So first thing you do is, you get the spark plug wrench. You take the top off. You take the spark plug out, look at it, and take it to AutoZone. Tell the dude behind the counter, I want exactly the same plug I got. Or, if I remember correctly, Dr. Jones Span said that the VIN number tells you everything about the car. So the VIN number on my car is just like a bunch of, I'm pretty sure my car's owner's manual, especially that damn Corvette, I'm pretty sure it tells you it requires exactly a specific type of spark plug. And if I remember correctly, I remember my dad used to have this little thing. It's called, it used to get a gap, like I think you have to put up a certain gap, right, Dr. Jerome, in order for the spark plug to work. So I could sit down and learn all of that. That is, so full disclosure. You must have full disclosure. What I'm sitting up here saying that I want to establish a holistic center. Thank you, Sister Ellen. Like Sister Ellen. But I need to sit down with Sister Ellen first, and I need Sister Ellen to tell me, hey, Sister Ellen, I need full disclosure. I mean, how many hours a day you put in over there? Because you got to order stuff, you got to do inventory. I remember one time Sister Ellen was counting everything, all of her merchandise. She was doing inventory. So inventory control. Sister Ellen, how much time it takes for you to, to take all of the products down, dust the shelves, put it back up there, and then, you got to open up, you got to physically be there. So is Sister Ellen's shop at her house, near her house? How far you have to drive? Because last time when I had the Inspirational Ground, we lived on one side of town and the coffee shop was on the other side of town. After a year of making that drive, Sister Ellen, we was like, Like I told my daughter, which is why my daughter's opened up the second location, so you get somebody to run the first location. Because the second location, like I told her from the jump, but at the jump, we couldn't find a building. Now we found a building, and it was on a contract. And the owner agreed to do all. Their owner right now is doing all the make-ready work. The owner just said, hey, we will build to suit. No cost to you. And we got 6 months free rent. So I was like, okay, what do we say? That's the only reason that we did a second location. And then I told Sade, I'm like, because I just asked for crazy stuff, like, because I really didn't want, remember, anything that you don't want, you can have. Never try to negotiate when you're thirsty. Because that energy is, I'm desperate. So we already got a location. Remember, whatever you have, you can get more. That's what you must always have money. Why? It's like with the house. I'm already in a house. So we've been looking for a house, so we weren't thirsty. So when everybody else was going up in their bid, they came back and said, hey, well, Mr. Rogers, you can get the house, but you got to bid $200,000 over the appraised value. Do I look stupid? So I just said, no, thank you. Why? I ain't thirsty. I can stay right here in this house right now. When I brought my Corvette, I already have a brand new Camaro. And the dude already told me, hey, we can reduce your payment, upgrade you to the brand new Camaro, and you get some money back. So when I was looking for my vet, I wasn't thirsty. So what am I saying? I'm simply saying, brothers and sisters, full disclosure, so that way you can understand, full disclosure creates number 2, a meeting of the minds. So if I sit down with Dr. Jerome, if I sit down with Brother David Andrews, and I find out everything that he does in corporate America, and I decide that hey, we want to do a physical location, we want to have a physical meeting, a round table meeting with all the members of the People Development Center, so we can sit down and now we can exchange. We can have a meeting of the minds. But I may sit down with Brother David and find out all of the details to setting up the flight, getting people in, booking the hotel room, setting up the transportation. I may decide, you know what, damn, Brother David, we may just want to do this shit virtual, brother. You know, we might want to just hook up on a Zoom call. So what am I saying? Full disclosure creates a meeting of the minds, an exchange of energy, so that way you have full consent. So everybody's going in with their eyes wide open instead of my eyes wide shut. When you do that, brothers and sisters, that removes all of the spookism out of the energy work. Brothers and sisters, today, especially from now, the 22nd is almost here. You want to make sure that you set your intent. You got to start anything, put it in your spirit before February the 22nd. Preferably, what is your 5-year plan? Please, you should write it down, but if you don't write it down, at least put it in your mind. Now, remember, I already got mine. I've been had it. It's been on my wall since the beginning of this year. So, from the February the 2nd until now, my vibrational matching, agreement, contract, allowing and connection is already established. It's just being amplified even more because maybe I should do the science behind what is happening right now. I may do that tomorrow. I may explain the scientific explanation behind the sun is changing your body's biorhythm. Not changing it, but it's aligning it. So you will notice that your cardiac rhythm, your sleeping pattern, your alertness, see, there is a governing astral or cosmic energy that is being sent from the constellation that you were born in based upon, remember, we've been talking about what's called moontracks.com that talks about 2.5 days that you should abstain from alcohol, gluttony, and even the, releasing, we'll put it that way, of your sexual energy through the orgasm, because that helps to create what is called a hormonal experience. But what's happening is there is what they call this very tiny biomagnetite elements inside of the brain, the blood, really the body, that is affected by this cosmic influx of the neutrinos. So it brings about a reconnecting with your individual energy with your cosmic home, we'll put it that way. So it brings about and it changes your electrical magnetic environment so that now you are being affected by the constellation, the zodiac sign, and the sun, because it's now changing your cerebral spinal cord fluid, the colostrum, and what they call the ictar or the oil, or the, what's another term that they use? The oil of Manasseh, basically the food or the blood of the gods, which simply means cerebral spinal fluid, CSF. So this substance that's flowing down your central nervous system, it flushes out any, let's use the word excitotoxins, negative toxins, and it establishes that hormones. So all of this is happening right now. There's a build-up right now of what is called the spirit molecule, the true Christos that's inside of the CSF. Some people call it DMT. Now, you can argue and debate over it, but at the end of the day, the constellation is affecting the electrical magnetic field that's inside of your body. This is going on right now, so this is increasing the effectiveness of your hormones and your vibration and the neurotransmitters. So that way you feel kind of like, I tell you guys about that supplement that I brought called Focused Brain. It's supposed to have the same effect on the brain as taking that, like the pill Limitless. And I told you guys I took it. It gave me a severe headache. I tried it again. I dumbed down the doses. It was a little milder, but it still gave me, so I stopped taking it. Because then my body's way of saying that, you don't need that, bro. You are already vibrating. So now the science behind what I'm talking about today is that all versions, your version of reality is distorted by your mentality. That is really, really good or really, really bad. I just want to assist you with, if you're going to distort your reality, you want to distort it in the manner of love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control. What does that mean? That means that no matter what Sister Audra says, I want to perceive, because my perception creates my reality. So this morning when I woke up, I set my intention. And anytime something comes into my life, anytime a thought comes into my brain, anytime I'm having a negative interaction in my brain, especially let's say I'm having a conversation or a conversation with someone and it's not going great. In my head, I'm going to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I may not be able to physically clap because they may look at me a little stupid. I mean, a little funny, like, what the hell are you clapping for? But in my head, I can do that 5-second rule that I told you guys about yesterday, and it snaps me out of the monkey mind, meaning it gets me right back into love. Because that's my intent when I woke up this morning. When I woke up this morning, I said to myself, like I say every morning, I want to change somebody's life today. When I was at 8 this morning, there was a young lady there who was our server. Her name was Sarah. And we said, oh, we're here, my daughter's birthday. She's like, oh, it's my birthday. I'm like, really? She was like, yes, it's my birthday. So we just say, hey, let's sing happy birthday to Sarah. I didn't know Sarah. She was just out, Hispanic girl. She was out, just, working her way through college. She working there part-time at Cracker Barrel. So I said, Sarah, you got a cash app? She said, yeah, I got a cash app. So I gave her my phone, put your cash app in there. And I cashed out Sarah, a pretty decent amount of money. Tears got in her eyes. She said, I can't do this. I can't take it. She said, Sarah, is the day your birthday? I said, yes, sir. I said, happy birthday. Every day, that's my intent. Every day when I go somewhere, and I'm not saying this shit to try to make me look like I'm some kind of blah, blah, blah. I'm saying it because that's my intent. Today's show, I'm doing this show today because that's my intent. My intent is to give more in use value than I receive in monetary value. That is my intent. And if I can establish an organization of like-minded people seeking the deeper aspects of changing lives with love, we change the planet. Because everybody's angry, everybody's upset, everybody's worried, everybody got more bills than money. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people. So every day I want to establish a version of reality where we are here to add more in use value than we are receiving monetary value. So if you're paying me $50 for a product, I want to give you $100 worth of use value. And I want to align myself. I want to match. I want to establish an agreement. I want to establish a contract. And I want to establish a flowing or an allowing and a connection between me and everybody who wants to do the same thing. What is that? Well, what did Yahushua say? He said, treat people, what's the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If it was my birthday and I was young, and I remember when I was broke, and I'm working my way, that's probably her second job. She probably got kids at home. Who knows her story? The little bit I did today, that was just something that uplift. I want to uplift people. I'm here to uplift the spirit of humanity. I want to match other people who want to uplift the spirit of humanity. I want to get in an agreement that we together we're going to uplift the spirit of humanity. I want to sign a contract, a verbal contract with everybody else who wants to uplift the spirit of humanity. I want to allow our ideals to flow because I can come up again. One can put 1,000 to flight. Two can put 10,000 to flight. What can 10 do? It's me and Brother David and Brother Jerome, Sister Carolina, Sister Addie, Dr. Span, Sister Cheryl West, Reverend Cheryl, Sister Diane Coleman, my cousin down in Richmond. Everybody, if we all get together, we can't leave out the great Dr. Martinet. There's at least 10. What if 20 of us get together? Do y'all know what we could do? Do you understand? Now, I'm not talking about these warm, fuzzy. Everybody starts off with good intentions. But what I'm simply explaining to you today, brothers and sisters, is our versions of people. We change. Do you know that you can change people's version of their own reality? So my version of my reality changed when I went to California. I had a version of reality. And I went on a speedboat. I went into a person's house who had a 5,000 square foot wine cellar. I know people who don't have, the average home in Texas is about 2,000 square feet. I went to a home that had, I think old boy had over, it was like an acre. It was an orchard, nothing but fruit trees. This was in Oxnard, California. I saw a house where the third floor of the house was street level. So the house that you saw visible from the street, that was the third floor. I had never seen that before. It was built into the side of a freaking mountain. This was in Orange County. This is a richer neighborhood. Now, these were black folks. Now, I've seen nice shit. Let's not get it real. Let's not get it twisted. What are you saying, Doc? What are you saying? That had a lasting, I'm still talking about it, and that shit was, 5, 6 years ago now. It's been a while. I'm still talking about it. We all could go to Sister Ellen's house, and Sister Ellen lived in upstate New York. I remember that because my ex-wife is from upstate New York. All of her family are Irish and Welsh. And her mother's mother still live up there. So I don't know where Sister Ellen lives. I don't know how Sister Ellen lives. But I know Sister Ellen lives really, really nice. I've seen a few clips here and there. So I know that whether we go to, I'm getting a house built, it's going to be really nice. I'm going to put a pool in the backyard. Whether we meet at my house, whether we meet, I know Brother David lives nice. I've never seen Brother David's house and stuff. I just know Brother David's vibe. I know, so no matter, I know Dr. Span, I know where they live is nice. I know Sister Diane, I know it's nice. I know Dr. Martinet, I met Dr. Martinet, Dr. T in Vegas. And I know Dr. Martinette's frequency. It is a nice frequency. So I know everything that she does is decent and in order. It has nothing to do with size and money. It has to do with frequency. Whether Dr. Martinette lives in a 500 square foot, one bedroom apartment, I just know that the vibration inside that apartment matches the vibration inside her body. So it's nice. Why? You guys ever talked to Dr. Martinette? Y'all ever been around Dr. Martinette? You've seen Dr. Martinette smile, her energy. Y'all ever had a conversation with Sister Ellen? Y'all ever seen any pictures of Sister Ellen? You ever been around Sister Ellen? Her energy? It's like if you could see unconditional love, it would be a picture of Sister Ellen. You ever seen or been around Sister Addie? Have you ever seen or been around people who have a unwavering desire to establish a better environment, not only for themselves but for others? I met Reverend Cheryl and her husband Dwight in San Antonio. I was introduced to Reverend Cheryl by her son, Brother Jibede. Brother Jibede was a client first. Any son that would introduce his mother, Brother Jibede, sought of their brother, the Gold Grill Yard man in Atlanta. I think is he still in Atlanta? I haven't heard from my boy in a while, Sister Cheryl. Sister Cheryl, Reverend Cheryl. But Reverend Cheryl Williams, same thing. Reverend Cheryl Williams reminds me of my mother. From the perspective of, like, I find it hard, I would be hard pressed to see Reverend Cheryl killing a fly. I'm talking about I've been really very blessed to attract people who are like me, my vibrational equivalent. And I'm thankful that we are finally getting to the place with the help of Brother David Andrews to organize what I'm not an 8. I'm a creator, but I gotta connect with people like Sister Ellen. I don't remember Sister Ellen. What is your life path now? I think you was 11, right, Sister Ellen? But I have to connect. It's time for us to organize. So I got to connect with business people now. We got to take this to the next level. We got to take this global. And so I can't take it global because I'm not an 8. I understand the 8. I can be an 8, but there are 8s out here in our organization that are able to vibrate and do some of the things that I'm on. Sister Ellen is you're a 7. I thought you was an 11. I know Sister Addie is an 11. But but the point, brothers and sisters, is everyone on this call. So she said, so the Ellen's just shoppers at your house, control how much I wait. Oh, okay, cool. That's kind of what I want to do. So Ellen, the house I'm having built, I made a nice size office that as soon as you walk in, without having to go throughout the entire house, the office. And so I want to put my bookstore, and I purposely put some large windows there and got to be cautious because, you got the homeowners association and residential, commercial, all that good stuff. But I still want to have a nice shop inside of my home as well. And I may have an additional physical location to do more, the retail stuff. But I'm pretty much want to do the same thing that you've already done as well, Sister Ellen. So that's the reason why we need to get together so we can pick each other's brains, so we can see who is doing what and how do they do it. And we want to set up this roundtable meeting so that way everybody on the day's call and people that are not even here, people who will be listening to this later, we can do what I call, mentality matching. So when our mentalities, our spirituality, mentality and spirituality are interchangeable for me. So my spirituality creates my reality. And when we get a group together, then we start operating on the law of exponentiality. There is a lot more power in numbers. Whether we just start with 3 people, whether we start with 5, 10, or 100, our energy will be able to, I'm going to use the word multiply exponentially, so that way we can establish a frequency, wave, or vibration that goes out and have a positive impact on the world. But we all have to be in a place where we know ourselves first before, because otherwise we can develop another organization that already exists, which we can just join one of those. So we're not trying to establish anything that already exists. So I don't know if you guys understand, a whole, complete person usually is following or is on a path by themselves. Most great, I'm going to use the word spiritual people, they don't have an entourage. It's usually like the Bible says, broad is the road that leads to destruction and narrow is the road that leads to righteousness. So we are a bunch of individual whole people. Because guess what? When you are whole and complete and you have no, and it's hard because when you say you have no baggage, you know, we all have something that we're working on. But we are people that have the least amount of spiritual work that is needed to be done. That just simply means it was going to be, I know it's very hard for me or for anyone to get into Sister Ellen's head and get underneath her skin. Same thing for Dr. Jerome. When you guys meet Dr. Jerome, you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't see nobody getting in his head, making him feel anything that he does not want to feel. He's comfortable in his own skin. Look at Brother David Andrews' videos. Look at his rate of speech. Look at the confidence that he exudes. You can't buy that at Walmart. Everybody has to come to the table with that. Why? So that way, when Sister Addie starts speaking with the power and the energy that she exudes, nobody's going to be intimidated because we all got the same energy. So we're all going to be able to match. We're all going to be able to agree. We're all going to be able to contract. We're all going to be able to allow, and we're all going to be able to connect. Because we're coming with a Christ lunar germ seed oil activation. And that's taking place right now. And it's awesome to watch and to see. Because everybody on this call, you're changing. Your energy is vibrating higher. You are more sensitive now than you've ever been in your life. And you're noticing it. And it's awesome to just sense. I know that Dr. Martinet is not the Dr. Martinet that I knew last year. By the way that she conversates, by the comments that she makes, they're all high energy comments. It's none of this little middle school stuff. Everybody on this call, y'all are all high vibration, and it's awesome because I can sense the change that is taking place in everyone that's on this call. That's why you're on this call. And so I just want to thank you for being you. I just want to thank you for choosing to be the highest version, the best version of yourself. And I know that we are all works in progress. I know that none of us is at the pinnacle, myself especially, but I am willing to continue to learn not only from Brother David and Reverend Cheryl and Sister Cheryl Williams, Sister Cheryl West, but everybody else on the call. And as long as we are willing to consider the Greek word aletheia, when God said that he gave them over, or for they did not have the love, and said, why did he give them over to a reprobate mind, or why did he allow them to have, again, the strong delusion? Because they did not have the love of the truth. And I tell you guys all the time, I may not have all the details. I got quite a few. I'm not going to sit up here and say like I'm God gifted to the planet, like I know everything. I have access to it, but I may not have access to certain things. So no, I'm not no damn guru. But you know what I have? I have a aletheia. If Brother David Andrews brings something to me, I'm going to consider it. If Dr. Jerome Spann tell me, hey, Doc, I've been looking at this, that, and the other, man, and you know what? Hey, check this out. I'm going to check it out. I'm not so high and mighty where I'm going to sit around and say, oh, no, should I got my system in place, brother, and, praise him. Now, at the same time, I'm not going to get outside of my lane. I'm not going to go out and try to be something that I'm not. But everybody on this call, you guys already are. That's why you're on the call. Because you guys know, for structure-wise, I changed the times. Sound quality is not that great. So from a business perspective, there's a lot of things that I do that are not business savvy. We put it that way. Most businessmen have a lot more structure, consistency, so that way people can know every day at 11 o'clock, this is happening. I don't do that. So those are the things that I have to start doing better with the help of everybody on this call. So I want to match your vibration as long as your vibration is the same or higher than mine. That's the point of us getting together at the round table. Then we're going to agree. We're going to find out that, hey, maybe Sister Carolina has the best idea when it comes to, where we should meet. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to sit down, we're going to talk about it, and everybody will, because remember, we all serve the same source. So the same thing source is telling me, he's telling everybody else. So we're all going to say, oh, man, you know what? As soon as the ideal is spoken, everybody's going to agree. Because everybody has the same intent, which is uplift the spirit of humanity. We're not here to bring about any type of conflict or to try to compete. We're here to complete each other and elevate each other. That's the game. All versions of reality are being renewed to fit God's mentality. Right now we're doing it with ourselves. But now the new game in town is all versions of reality should be transformed by the renewing of our mind to fit source code mentality, not mine. When we do that, brothers and sisters, that's how we shine. Well, I love you. Appreciate you. And there ain't nothing y'all can do about it. We're going to see you at the top. God bless.